We got some big Nintendo news yesterday. The president of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser, is going to be stepping down on December 31st, 2025, and in his place will be Devon Pritchard, who's been with the company since 2022. She's currently the vice president of revenue, marketing, and consumer experience. Now, I don't know much about her. I don't know what she's done as an executive at Nintendo. I know that she is a Pikmin fan from what we see on her LinkedIn profile picture. I think she got a shout out in a Metroid game. So that may be good news if you are a Metroid or Pikmin fan. I don't think she has direct influence to just, say, make new game in the series, but it's certainly not a bad thing. And other news is the new CEO of Nintendo of America is going to be Satoru Shibata. Now, he's been with Nintendo since the 80s. He's been there since, I think, 85. He served as the president of Nintendo of Europe, so he's had a long history at Nintendo. He's actually been in a lot of the Nintendo of Europe Nintendo Directs. And I just want to talk about what this means. So, are we getting a new Pikmin game? I think one is probably in the works after how Pikmin 4 sold, but obviously it's a few years away. And I'll get to that a little more in a bit. But what does this mean for Nintendo? So first off, Nintendo of America doesn't have as much power as you probably think. It's more Nintendo in Japan, like the main company. That's who's making the decisions. Nintendo of America obviously does have influence. It's still a big corporation, or I should say it's a big part of a big corporation. But I think it really comes down to the influence that the executives have on the higher-ups of Nintendo of Japan. Like Reggie Fils-Aimé, I actually read his book this year, and it was actually very interesting how he kind of influenced a lot of decisions that Nintendo made. Him and Iwata were very close, and he actually convinced Iwata to bundle Wii Sports with the Wii, and that obviously was a great decision. And beyond that, like every Nintendo fan knew who Reggie Fils-Aimé was. He would show up in the Directs, in E3, he would do different events. You don't really see Doug Bowser doing any of this. Like, his last name's literally Bowser, and no, that's not why he got this job, it's just a funny coincidence, but they barely played into this. They had like a couple trailers where he was with Bowser, and it kind of just feels like a different era of Nintendo. In the 2000s and 2010s, they kind of had these guys be the central figures of Nintendo, because it felt like guys like Reggie Fils-Aimé and Satoru Iwata, when he was still alive, truly cared about the games. Like, they wanted to connect with the consumers. Now, I think that has led to some people being too loyal to Nintendo, where they don't separate the people from the company. But I also think Nintendo was just better when they had personalities that constantly showed up in the Directs, instead of just kind of having the bland corporate feel that it's kind of had recently. So I don't know if Devon Pritchard is going to be in Directs. I don't know if Shibata is going to be in any. I would say it's probably likely, since he's been in Nintendo of Europe Directs and he seems to be a pretty big fan of Nintendo games. Nintendo has obviously had a lot of controversies this year. They've been marking up prices, and they've made some decisions people aren't happy about, like the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, the Pokemon DLC before the game is even out. And if people are expecting change because there's a change in leadership in Nintendo of America, then they're probably going to be pretty disappointed. And again, it all comes down to the influence that they're going to have over Nintendo as a whole, like the greater company. Like, if Devon Pritchard really is this big Pikmin fan, I'm sure she could talk to the executives of the board at Nintendo in Japan and explain how popular the series is in the US to try to get something moving for that. Because Pikmin is a series that's kind of niche. Like, it's more popular now just because all the games are on Switch. But from like 2013, or I should say 2014, until Pikmin 4 came out in 2023, we got almost nothing in the series. Like, literally all we got was the Pikmin shorts on the eShop, and we got Hey Pikmin. So I don't think this could possibly be a bad thing for Pikmin. I think if you want to look at it in the way that the worst it could be is just nothing, and the best it could be is more voices trying to get more Pikmin content out, I think it could definitely be seen as a good thing. And then Metroid 2, I just saw some comments about it. I don't know the validity of it. If you do, let me know in the comments. But apparently she got a shout out, and a Metroid gamer had something to do with some recent Metroid game. And I think Metroid is doing just fine. Metroid Dread sold, I think, the best out of any Metroid game. And obviously Metroid Prime 4 is coming out very soon. So I'm sure they're probably working on more projects, especially with how popular Metroidvanias are now. Like, I promise you, Nintendo sees the popularity of Hollow Knight, and they saw the popularity of Metroid Dread and how much people are hyped for Metroid Prime 4, so I can guarantee they're working on something. Probably a remake of maybe Super Metroid or Metroid Zero Mission. I could see them making maybe a Metroid Prime 2 remaster as well, since they made one of the original. I could see them making a brand new 2D Metroid. And now I want to address some things. I made a post yesterday about this very announcement, and I got some comments about people asking, like, if Doug Bowser was the reason Nintendo's been getting very lawsuit happy. I have no idea. I don't want to speculate on that. The only thing I can say is that Nintendo has been very protective of their IPs for a very long time, well before Doug Bowser. I don't know if Doug Bowser and Nintendo of America were the ones actually sending out the cease and desist. I don't know if it was Nintendo of Japan. I highly doubt anything's going to change with that. And I really don't know the direction Nintendo's going to go here. I don't know if they're going to try to involve their new executives more in directs and have them more at events, or if they're just going to be behind the scenes like Doug Bowser. Another thing I asked yesterday was name one thing Doug Bowser has done, and no one really said anything. If you ask someone to say what Reggie Fils-Aimé has done, you could probably make a whole video about that. Like I mentioned earlier, he got Wii Sports bundled with the Wii. He led Nintendo through some of their most popular periods, like obviously the Wii and DS era. He got Nintendo through the very difficult Wii U era, where Iwata sadly passed away as well, and then he led them to the Switch, and then retired in 2019. And with the bad PR Nintendo's been getting recently, I think if they try to lean into having a more personality-driven executives, I should say, that it might be able to save face at least a little bit. And I'm not justifying what Nintendo is doing. I'm not saying I'm personally just going to forgive Nintendo for every anti-consumer decision they're making. I'm saying just from a marketing standpoint, how people will look at them. I think Nintendo does some dumb things, but I think they are far from dumb. And I promise you they've seen a lot of the backlash. So they can try and use this new era to try and really give that old Nintendo feel of the 2000s and 2010s. But this is all speculation. We're going to have to see. Are we going to get new Pikmin news maybe because of this? Is Nintendo going to get better? Is Nintendo going to get worse? Is it going to stay exactly the same? I don't know. We're going to find out soon. Changes are going to be made in early 2026. So we'll have to see. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Let me know if you're expecting new Pikmin news because of this, or if you think that it doesn't mean anything. And also, if you made it this far in the video, I made a Pikmin documentary recently. It's about 30 minutes long, and it goes over the entire history of the Pikmin series, so be sure to check that out. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe. This has been Domain with Game Domain. Thank you for watching.